race number 7 here. Final race of the day. Final race of this afternoon series of 3 races. So these guys are absolutely knackered after some of these upwinds. It's blowing 20 to 25. It's boat speed style races. These guys are pushing it to the absolute limit on their legs, just sitting in full squat mode for 12 minutes straight, trying to squat hundreds of pounds of force. As we get off the start line, we'll see who it is. It looks to be, again, Evan Heffernan nailing the boat, and Purple Kite right behind him. That's actually young gun Ryan Satterberg as they come off the start line here. So he's been able, Evan and Ryan, able to nail their starts. And who's a sailboat coming through? This absolute wanker. Come on, mate. Like, cruises right through the course on port, like takes out the entire start line. I'm not sure what that's about, but absolutely takes out Evan Heffernan luckily was able to escape there, but as we can see, some of the guys had to duck. Like, that definitely hurt Leif Given there on that lighter blue kite on the left-hand side of the screen there, that he had to duck down. Actually, surprised he didn't go for a jump over it. This guy is actually one of the top Big Air and Woo Sports kite jumpers, and surprised he didn't go to just jump that sailboat and gap the whole fleet there. He's actually got his Worlds coming up next month. That would have been great training for him. But as we pan back, coming upwind to some of these leaders, unfortunately that sailboat just kind of taking out half that fleet like the Tour de France. Jesus, what was that? Absolute wanker. But back into these kind of lead guys coming off here, able to tough it through that pick on the race course. Of course, was Marcus Edegren leading out towards this left-hand side, able to, definitely getting across here on these orange kites. That is Noah Runciman on that orange kite coming across again, as well as Santos Villegas and Will Sear. So Marcus Edegren leading the pack here on the yellow. You can see he's wearing the yellow sleeve on his arm there. But it's, again, coming into this afternoon series, it was Marcus Edegren in first, Noah Runciman, new guy, after not showing at the Delta Pro event, but now here in Long Beach at the Seabreeze Invitational, he did get the invite. So Noah Runciman pulling through into second place, and again, we've got a battle for this podium spot between some of the same guys on this kind of boat speed style racetrack. These guys are proving to the rest of the fleet that to be in the top, you have to have boat speed, and that boat speed has to be extremely, extremely fast. You have to be able to dial in. It's one thing to be fast, but it's another thing to be able to quickly get fast out of your tacks and out of maneuvers. So these guys are showing everyone who's boss in terms of that. But it's Marcus Edegren, rider for Ozone Kites, cruising upwind here out onto the right-hand side, as he is currently leading this event with 5 bullets out of 6 races, and still leading coming into this last race of day 1. So Marcus Edegren rounding in first. That looks like Noah Runciman on the orange in second. Will Sear on the gray and green in third. Evan Heffernan, I believe, on that blue kite in fourth, so he's able to actually pull out some speed. Good on him, as he kind of got taken out, or had to at least do a crash tack with that sailboat coming through the start line on port. Absolute wanker in that race, or off that start line. But again, he's able to stay with it. But that's Santos Villegas back there in about 5th or 6th place as we cruise onto this first downwind of this 2-lap race course. Again, two laps, up, down, and then a quick reach across the finish at the bottom, just to sort things out and suss them out as we sort our own drone flying out there. But now we have Marcus Edegren cruising down on this downwind, and it is definitely, he's got this lead, and he's been able to just turn on these downwinds. The talk of the town right now is all about Marcus's downwinds. You can see he's already just put on another 100 meters since this jibe alone, and it's not like they're doing a whole lot of jibes. It's not on his jibes. The average, I guess, North American would probably say, oh, he's got better boat handling, but this is not about boat handling, folks. This is about raw speed, and he's able to just find a lane and find a groove that no one else can match on these downwinds today. So he's going to be a weapon going into some of these events over in Europe in the future. We've definitely got Euros and Worlds coming up in a month or two. So it'll be curious to see how he goes with that downwind weapon, and see if the other fleet can train to match it, because right now they are not on par with that speed. So Marcus Edegren coming out of this gate, course right, coming out right on the downwind. That was followed by, I believe, Will Sear and then Hantos. Or sorry, that was Noah Runciman in the orange, Will Sear, it was in second, followed by Noah Runciman. So Will able to power over the top of Noah Runciman there on the orange kite. Noah fairly new to this game still. He's only been foiling for 2 years, lacks a bit of the experience, whereas Will is actually head of Sear designs and builds some of the top kite foiling boards on the planet. So this guy is an absolute brilliant naval architect and design engineer who's able to work with composites in ways that no one else seemingly can. So it's really interesting seeing some of the stuff that comes out of the inner workings of his brain, and see how he's able to apply that onto the race course to help him go faster here. So as they're cruising upwind, he's definitely chasing, and I mean, probably smart move by Marcus Edegren staying with Will Sear out there on the right just to protect some of that speed. So far he's been able to ward off Noah Runciman on any speed challenges thus far, as Noah did tack out here and is now coming out course left, trying to sniff out a shift on course left. We'll see if he's got any laser sailing in his blood, if he's able to sniff out some 1 degree shifts here and make something count, because we know that the boat speed is fairly even on these guys upwind. These packs, they're extending on the rest of the fleet, but right now this pack of top fives, it's been neck and neck at the windward every single time, every single race, but it's the downwinds that are making the difference right now. So Noah Runciman goes for the tack, coming back towards the right-hand side of the course as we converge on the apex to the top mark, but it looks as though he's not really gaining much. Again, still just on boat speed. It's Marcus Edegren in the lead, again, riding for Ozone Kites in that yellow kite, wearing the yellow sleeve on him. Can't quite see the sleeve from this distance, but definitely flying that yellow kite, his signature color there. He likes to rock for Ozone. But it's Will Sear on the Fly Surfer kite coming into this windward mark in second. We'll see if there's any pick situation on this guy towards the back here. They might be lapping. But as he goes, nope, he's just going to power right into his downwind mode, and you can see how much lower and faster he's able to point compared to some of the other guys, and it just shows why he can extend on the rest of this fleet in this manner. He gets his kite lower quicker, and he locks into his zone, so it might not even be actually, I take back actually what I'm saying now. The more I think about it, I don't think it's a speed difference at all. I think he's found his groove, and I think everyone is probably close to just as fast, at least in this top pack. Maybe not quite at the back of the fleet, but in this top pack, everyone seems to be really finding their groove. But the key thing is Marcus is just finding his groove so much faster than everyone else, and it's absolutely showing that out of every jibe, he'll put on another 50 meters, another 25 meters out of another jibe. Out of his rounding, he'll put on 100 meters right there, because he's able to lock into his mode and his speed mode immediately as soon as he rounds. And whereas a lot of other people, they kind of settle into their bottom and kind of get going and then find their groove, those precious seconds tend to add up when you're coming downwind, because again, look at this lead that Marcus has built up. He's just extending on these downwinds, but again, it doesn't look as though he's at all faster or lower or anything of the matter, but it's just out of maneuvers he tends to put on the wheels immediately and extend. And right there you can see, I'd say Will Sear doing an excellent jibe there, able to stay with them, but you can see Will Sear actually extended on the guy in the 3 there, Noah Runciman on the orange kite, just out of that maneuver, because he was able to get locked into his mode quicker. So perhaps that's the key right there, is not to crack Marcus's secret, but perhaps to help a bit of the rest of the fleet out here today, because Marcus is putting on a show for the rest of the fleet. And right now it is Marcus Edegren coming across for 6 of 7 7 race bullets in the day. So he's gotten 6 bullets, or this will be his 6th bullet out of 7 races in the day. So absolutely putting on a show for everyone else here today. But we'll see what happens going into day 2 of Seabreeze Invitational for the Kite Foil League tomorrow. So Will Sear coming across in second there, and it's Noah Runciman in third. It does look as though he might need to ward off Santos Villegas on that orange kite coming in, but it looks as though there's not going to be enough distance there for Santos to gain into that top 3, but most likely not too much of an upset from him as they round out the day. Likely still holding their top 3. We'll have to check on results going into that for tomorrow.